Hey, what's up, Vikings? Back with a new video, and today we are going to look at how to install Valheim server on DigitalOcean. Now, the reason why I'm making an updated video is because we made a lot of changes to how to install Valheim with the menu system, because we're going to get rid of the menu.sh and the advanced menu.sh because we only want to maintain one particular menu. And what's really cool is that this new update will allow you to run multiple instances of Valheim on one server. That's right. You can run a vanilla load if you wish and a modded load all on the same server, and they will not conflict with each other. And in the future, we're going to release our web GUI, and the web GUI will let you manage Valheim from your web browser instead of having to SSH into your cloud service provider and do everything from there. But if you wish to do that, you can still do that. We're just trying to give you multiple options and whatever's easiest for you. That was the whole intent of this project, was to make installing Valheim as easy as possible, teach those that don't know how to use Linux a little bit of Linux commands, and get them a little bit more comfortable with playing around with Linux. So let's just jump right into it. Now, I use DigitalOcean, and I have a referral link down in the description. That referral link will give you $100 credit over 2 months. So use it up, because after 2 months, it goes away. But if you like it, you can stay around and, continue to use DigitalOcean. I prefer DigitalOcean for my games because I don't want to pay no third-party company to manage my stuff and have to pay. Even though it might be cheaper, I actually have full control of what I want to do, when I want to do it, and I don't have to worry about being hacked because somebody else's server had something else installed on it. This will work for AWS, Azure, Google, any service cloud provider, as long as you have true root access or sudo access. And that's the other thing. With DigitalOcean, you get your own box to do whatever you want. You can create as many users you want, you can do whatever, right? But anyways, you log into DigitalOcean, you come up here, you hit create, you select droplets, and droplets are going to pull down this menu system right here with all these different versions of Linux. The only one we care about for this is Ubuntu 20.04 LTS, long-term support. So have that selected, come down here to choose a plan. I go with basic for my Valheim installs, and then I do the $24 a month one. But I make sure that I have premium Intel NVMe SSD selected. If you go to like regular, it drops down a little bit, but the Intel or AMD, they're the same price. You just might prefer AMD over Intel. I don't know. I just go with Intel. If you're going to run multiple Valheim instances, meaning more than one, definitely go with probably the 8 gig, because once you start building out the world, and modded servers probably take up a little bit more RAM, maybe, I don't know. Eventually you're going to find yourself upgrading. Like pretty much the majority of the questions that we answer on our Discord forum, and by the way, I'm completely grateful for all the help that everyone provides everybody, is the biggest question that we answer is folks don't have enough RAM or enough CPUs. Like folks will go down here to like 1 CPU and 1 gig of RAM on any cloud service provider, and it just won't work. You might get it to work with 1 and 2. 2 and 2, you can get it to work, but it won't last very long. Maybe you might get a month or so, depending on how fast you build or how much terraforming, or the more you add to your Valheim server, the more resources it will require. So for this example, we're just going to go with the 24-month. Scroll down here, pick your location. If you live in London or anywhere in that area, pick that, because you want lower ping times, right? You want that lower ping time. You want to connect to your server. You don't want to have a lot of lag. I'm going to select New York, and then I scroll down here to type in my root password. I do a root password because I don't care if you hack my Valheim server, whoop-de-doo. But if you want more secure, you could use your SSH keys, but you need to figure out how to get your private key onto your SSH client. So if you're using PuTTY, or is it your public key? One of the keys. But we have videos for that too. So I create a password, and then I come down here, and I skip all these other options. You don't need to edit anything else in here. I hit create droplet. It's going to go through and start creating all the stuff that I need. and it's ready to go. So I click the IP address, I open up PuTTY, I paste it in there, I hit connect. It's going to ask me to accept the keys. Yes. I'm going to log in. If you do it too fast, the server is still kicking on. So put the IP address in there, hit open, log in, type in your password. It's going to log in, and now you're ready to go, right? And just with any Ubuntu install, regardless of what service provider you're using, if you do not have enough system resources and you log in, you will not see your IP addresses in here. That means you don't have enough RAM. You don't even have enough memory for your operating system to actually initialize. So you come in here, you're good to go. Now we go to our GitHub page. We click Git Code, copy, come down here, go to cd/opt, and then we're going to type git clone. I'm going to go to my beta branch. You don't have to do -b, you just do git clone and then the URL. I have to do -b beta because I have not published this yet. I will publish this at the end of the video, and then you hit return. It's going to download all the files. Then you do cd dedicated Valheim server script. And when you do a long list in there, you will see that the files are in there, ready to go. So now we're going to do a chmod plus X. That's going to give execute permissions to the Njord menu system. And we know that the Njord menu system does not have permissions to execute because it is not green. And also when you look over here at your permission flags, you can see it has read, write, read, right? And the ones that are green has read, write, execute, read, execute, read, execute. If you don't know Linux, these are just permission flags, and that's a whole lesson on itself. For those advanced users, you already know. So chmod plus X, Njord menu, we do another look on it, and you can see now it is green. That's a quick, easy way to see it, and it actually has all the execute permissions in there. So now we are going to launch the menu system by doing /Njord menu. And if you do not have root, as you can see, I'm currently logged in as root. If you don't have root, then you have to use sudo. And I would recommend doing sudo-i. Don't do sudo-u, do sudo-i for your install. But because I'm already in as root, I'm just going to execute like this. And the Njord menu will launch. So from here, you can see that it's broken. There's nothing in there. Why? Because it's a fresh install. So from here, we are going to do option number 3, which is install Valheim server or add another Valheim instance. So we press option 3, hit return. It is going to bring up another menu. Is this a fresh or a reinstall of Valheim? Or are you trying to set up another Valheim server on a different port? Since this is a fresh install, we're going to go with option 1. And then it's just going to go through and do everything it needs to do. It's that easy. Takes all the guessing out of it. And if you are installing this on a different flavor of Linux, thanks to Lord, he scripted all the step-by-step for whether it's Debian, whether it's CentOS, whether it's Sun. I don't know why he's using Sun Solaris, but he is, and that's why he wanted to do it. So thank you, Lord, for that. And yeah, this timing will vary. It could go fast, it could go slow. Mine is just going. If there's any options that pop up saying, hey, do you accept a default or whatever, just accept the default, just hit return. Right now, Ubuntu, the way we have it updating, it's not going to ask you for that. So that's really cool. But again, if any prompts come up, just accept the default and move on. If you're an advanced Linux user, then you know what to change and change to your heart's desire. And once it's done, it'll kick off into the final steps. Almost there. How about them 49ers? Do we have any 49er fans? No? Well, this is a good time while it's installing, you're watching this. You can just like this video or don't like it. I don't know why I had don't likes in the past. I think those are the people that don't like Make-A-Wish Foundation videos, which is so strange, but whatever. But I'm not going to ask you to subscribe or do all the other stuff that people tell you to do. Just if you like it, like it. So this step right here is install a non-Steam account. So we're going to enter a Steam password. So this is going to be the Steam account on your Valheim install. This is not your Steam account. So do not put your Steam password in here. This is just a user that is going to be created that will execute all the Valheim functions that you need to do. And it will just keep it all separated from everything else. So we're just going to type in a password. We're going to type in happy scripts. It's going to build the Steam account. And now it's going to ask me for what do I want my server display name to be. So I'm going to name this Zeros Testing Server 1. And then it's going to ask me for my world name, world name 1. Do not put any spaces in here. Just name it a cool world name. Make it unique from your public display name. It's just better for that, in my opinion. It's going to ask you now if you want your server to be publicly listed. So I'm going to say yes, I want my server to be listed in the Steam games directory. And then it's going to ask me for my server password. What is the password that will be used to connect to my Valheim server? And then I'm just going to type happy scripts 99. So it's going to take that. It's going to take all that information that we just entered and build all the required configuration files and service files for Valheim to operate correctly on this DigitalOcean install. Here you can see that it's installing Steam. Now, when you're installing on different operating systems, if you don't see this build out right here, then you might be on a Linux distro that it's a pain in the butt, like Debian. Debian is one of the boxes we see a lot of times that have issues with Steam or Steam command. So just watch how this install goes. If you don't see this kick off correctly, then you have to do some other stuff. And hopefully you're an advanced Linux user and you can do some Googling to figure out how to do that. I know like Debian is a pain in the butt when it comes to multiverse. I believe it can be done, but it's not easy. I have to go and check with some other folks in Discord because I think they got it to work. I just don't use Debian for gaming. It's just, it doesn't make sense to me. So now it's done installing Steam command. It's done installing Steam. Now it's installing Valheim. And you can tell because it's over a gig here. And we are almost done. I don't know what to talk about when this is doing this. Like, hey, hi, thanks. Hit the like button. Don't subscribe, just hit the like button. So now the game's fully installed. It's going to build all the configuration files. It's going to reset permissions for the Steam folder. It's going to make sure that the Steam account that was created has all the permissions on all the Valheim portions that it needs. And now it's going to start the Valheim server. Let's pull up Valheim. You can see how many times I've tried to make these videos. I'm going to pull up Steam and then connect to it to show you that it works. All right, now it says, congratulations. So we use option 0, go to the main menu. Don't worry about this. This file checks the official Steam repo, and then it will actually set right here. So when you launch the menu system again, you won't see this. Now you can see current Valheim instance, world name 1. That's the world that we made. And what our local install is of Valheim, what the official Valheim release is, what our server name is our server actually connected to the internet, what the IP address is of our server, what the port is that the server is running on, and then if the public listing for our Valheim server is being shown inside the Steam browser communities. And the server status, it's active and running. The universal firewall and substates, again, that's for people running private servers in their house. Maybe they need some firewall rules. We wrote all those in here for you. All you have to do is enable it. I figure if you are running a private server in your house, maybe you have a little bit more knowledge. To enable the firewall rules, just edit the Njord menu and you will see step by step what to do for your firewall. Because some people might be using UWF, IP tables, who knows what firewall you're using. We wanted to make it universal for your options so you can pick whatever firewall you're used to using. All the other Valheim configurations are here for you. All the commands here, if you want to stop, start, restart, check the status of your server. If you want to back up your world data, if you want to restore some world data, and if you want to use ValheimPlus, if you want to run like a modded server, or if you just want to use BepInEx for a modded server and install whatever mods you wish to choose. Now, the cool thing here is the change world session. Now, that's it. You're ready to go. You don't have to do anything else. If you don't want to play with mods, you don't want to have more than one Valheim server running on one server, then you're done. Connect to your game and go. So let's do that. Let's open up Valheim. We're going to launch it. This is our IP address over here. Start game, start. Go to join game, join IP address. We're going to type in our IP address 167.71.26. I think it's funny, Malwarebytes still thinks Valheim is a Trojan, but whatever. And then we make sure we put the port in here, 2456, and we connect. Enter the password, which I believe we made it happyscripts99. Hit return. And we're connected. Just like that. We hit F2. We can see we're connected to the server, world name 1, and good to go. So quick and easy, no firewall changes I had to make on DigitalOcean, no firewall changes I had to make on my VM itself. I know if you're using AWS or Azure or Google Cloud Provider, you're going to need to make some firewall changes to allow those ports in. And we have YouTube videos for that step by step. So here's the cool thing. This is the feature everyone was asking for. This is option 3, install Valheim server, add another Valheim instance. So we go option 3, and then option 2 down here is set up another Valheim server on a different port. So we do 2, and then we do zeros, testing server 2. It's going to ask me for a world name. We're just going to name it world name 2. It's going to ask me for a different port. Do not pick 2456. We have an example 2459. You don't want to use the same port as last time, or give it at least +3 of the last port, because you will have a port conflict. If you put it on the same port, it's just not going to work. So we're going to do 2459, and then we're going to make it public. And then we're going to give it another password for this server. We're going to name it the same, happyscripts99. And then it's going to go ahead and install a separate Valheim instance. So now, once this is complete, I'll have 2 copies of Valheim running on the same server. And once this is done, I'm going to install ValheimPlus. Because sometimes I want to play with mods, and sometimes I want to play vanilla. Now you can have 2 vanilla loads, or you can have 2 different modded loads. It's whatever you want to do. You can have 3, you can have 100, as long as you have enough system resources. Again, I highly recommend 2 CPUs and 8 gigs of RAM. We're going to see if this does it with 4 gigs of RAM, but I promise you, if I'm playing on it with my friends, I'm going to run out of memory. And again, if you have any issues, questions, man, jump in our Discord. We'll help you out. We created an awesome nerd community. So we also answer other tech questions, even cybersecurity questions. We talk about cyber defense and cyber offense. So if that's something that interests you, please jump in there. We have a separate channel just for that stuff. I help a lot of folks that want to get into cybersecurity. I've been doing it for almost 26 years, 27 years. So I'm more than happy to help mentor any of those that want to get into cybersecurity, or if you're having certain issues with certifications or real world operations, come talk to me. I'll walk you through it, or I'll give you my opinion what I would do. So that's it. The second install of the Valheim server is complete. We go back to the main menu here. And as you can see up here, current Valheim instance says world name 2. So right now inside the menu system, all these functions that we execute will be for world name 2. Now, if you want to go back to your first world instance, right here, option 99, change world session, we do 99, and then these options come up. What world would you want to admin? So I want to go to world name 1, because I want to go back to that one and make sure everything's working. Now, if you look here, current Valheim instance, world name 1. Now, all the administrative functions we execute here are for that world only. But let's go back to world name 2. So we're going to use option 99. We're going to select world name 2. And I want to make this a modded version of Valheim. So I go to option 19, which is ValheimPlus, which, by the way, ValheimPlus is doing some really cool stuff. Highly recommend them. If you're new to the modding, then use them. After a while, once you get after you get comfortable with mods, maybe you might want to use Bepinex. And Bepinex allows you to install whatever you want. You just have to pick and choose from the modding community websites. So we're going to do option 19, ValheimPlus. The ValheimPlus menu will pop up. You can see that mods are disabled. And here is the latest ValheimPlus official build. And as you can see, we have no data. But right here, install ValheimPlus mods. I'm going to use option 1, hit return. It's going to reach out to Valheim's repo. It's going to pull down all the files. It's going to unpack all the files. It's going to set everything up for you so you don't have to guess. It takes all the guesswork out. So after we installed, now we want to enable, right? Because right now mods are still disabled. Now we want to use option 2 to enable ValheimPlus. Now you might ask, why do I have this option here? Because if people were using this on one server and ValheimPlus breaks, you can always disable ValheimPlus and it will make the Valheim instance go back to vanilla mode, and then you can play vanilla. That's why it's there. So we're going to use option 2. We're going to enable ValheimPlus. It's going to restart the services. Great time for some water. And there you go. Mods enabled with ValheimPlus. And if for some reason you have Bepinex installed, we didn't want folks to get confused. This will say with Bepinex if you're using that, regardless what menu system you're in. And then now we connect. So for ValheimPlus, I get asked this question a lot, like, hey, how do I play with mods? What's going on? If you go to their GitHub and you type in Valheim, and then you come down to ValheimPlus right here, all you have to do is come to their releases tab, download the Valheim Windows client zip file. It's going to download these. Once it's downloaded, you open it. And then you go to your Steam directory right here. And what I do, I already have one made. All I do is right click, copy, and paste, and it's going to make, let me just delete this one. It's going to make a copy of Valheim, and then I just rename this to Plus. That way I know this is the modded version of Valheim. I go into here, I take these files, and I just drag and drop them. That's it. Drag and drop them. Now you're ready to go. Now launch Valheim as normal. And then pull up what we have is our IP address over here. And you also have this other BepInEx console window that pops up. So it's good to like see what type of errors you may or may not have, and just always monitor this. So we are going to connect to ValheimPlus modded server that we just installed. We go to join game, join IP. We type in our IP address, which is 167, and there's malware bytes going off again, 167.71.26.206, and then the port that we have, which is 2459, and we connect. And then we want to look at our log. We want to see, hey, is it actually trying to connect? Oh, it's connecting, it's going through. Cool. Looks like it's good. It's asking us for a password. We're going to type in happy scripts 99, hit enter. And then we go back. Let me tab that. And I'm just watching the logs. I'm watching the console to see, is everything legit? It looks like it's syncing. It pulled down the configuration file from ValheimPlus. No issues. Now I'm playing with the modded version of ValheimPlus. So now I have two servers running on one server. Valheim Vanilla, ValheimPlus. And that's it. I wanted to do this real quick because we had a lot of updates, and we wanted to show you how to install with DigitalOcean and how easy it was to make more than one Valheim install on the same server. So again, the description for the referral link is down there, or the link to the referral link is in the description down below. Use that. It's $100 credit. You saw how easy it was. I didn't have to mess with firewall rules. I didn't have to do anything crazy. I mean, it's all good to go. So that's it. I appreciate your time. I appreciate the community. And please, if you have any questions, jump into our Discord and we'll help you out. And here's another raw video. No edits. Happy gaming.